volatility happens when stuff is early, when stuff is highly liquid, and when you attract a lot of speculative capital, when it's just highly, I guess, unregulated. It's because crypto exists in a complete parallel system to the traditional financial system, almost completely parallel. You need ways to take your cash, your fiat currency, and buy, these cryptocurrencies, and that's still done through these centralized exchanges like Coinbase, which is listing today. Incredible validation. Um, but after that point, it's essentially the wild, wild west. You can do anything you want. So once again, I think this is a temperament issue. It's funny. I have never thought about volatility in crypto. Like I never even think about it because I guess by I don't know, my brain just doesn't feel like that is a stress factor. But I can certainly understand to other people who's different temperaments that would
Yes.
be a stress factor. And I certainly know people who literally won't buy it because, including who was it? Nassim Taleb recently, right? He basically sold out his entire Bitcoin position because he thought it changed its value too much. And I don't know, him of all persons should understand this stuff. But to me, if you play the long game, you care less about the volatility in the short term. You don't care zero, but you care less.
Yeah.
B, by temperament, you may just have higher kind of tolerance for this kind of stuff. But overall, I would say that um, if you find it too volatile, I mean, I could tell you to take a long-term view, but I don't know if that will actually psychologically help you, because it's giving advice is useless because like it only runs it's software that works for your brain, but it doesn't port to someone else's brain. So it's almost kind of useless, but people give advice anyways. It's a great industry. But I don't know. I think a great product would be if someone would lock your crypto assets away for X years and buy a smart contract, and you can't sell it. I think illiquidity is actually one of the best features of the venture capital industry. Is that it kind of just takes you out of the day to day. What's it worth? What's it trading at? And that actually helps you stay in the market and actually be the guy who's like, oh, I bought early and I still hold it. Like if you bought Amazon in 90, what was it, 7, 8 on the IPO, the chance that you still hold that stock today is practically 0%, right? Because it's
Mm.
gone through so many just gyrations and crash after 2000 and narrative problems, and every day it gives you a reason to sell, and you have to have like such iron conviction to hold it through all these cycles. But if it's illiquid, you just don't think about it because you don't have the choice. So I think if you're someone um, who would otherwise be so open to it and want to hold it, but just find the day to day too intolerable. It's so funny. Masayoshi Son, one of the greatest and highest risk tolerating investors of all time. SoftBank. He was at one point in 2000 richer than Bill Gates because of how much SoftBank was worth, and then got evaporated. But he literally bought Bitcoin on the
Yeah.
advice of a Fortress, and he couldn't tolerate the volatility. He said, I kept checking the price every day and I got fed up with it, so I sold it all. He literally bought the top and sold the bottom in the last cycle. But but yeah, I agree, this is a real problem. But if you can find some way to lock it up for yourself. For example, when you buy Bitcoin, you're given a private key. That's what gives you the unique access to your tokens. If you can just take that key um, and put it in a safety deposit box, or break it in half and give it to two friends you trust, and say, do not. Basically, you lock it up for you. Do not give this back to me, no matter how hard I scream and shout and moan for 5 years. Like that would be one way to construct a mechanism for you to just take it out of your decision process. But I think this shows so strongly that like investing is at least 50% psychological, and for some asset classes, maybe 80% psychological. It's definitely that case.